Howdy, folks. I'm Jeff,
And I'm John.
and we are the J&J Show on Road Trip.
On road trip in Utah. We're in Salt Lake City right now.
And this is Salt Lake City East High
High
School.
school. Yeah, we're with the auto instructor. His name is John, but he don't spell it the same way.
That's right.
You leave a little H out there, don't you?
Yeah, I keep my H behind my T. That's where I like to have it.
Hey, so what's your last name, John?
My last name's Olszewski.
You guys do something different here because you're part of SCCA, the racing, and this is a little bit different type of racing. And you've got a vehicle here that they've just brought in so the folks can see what it looks like to begin with. And maybe towards the end of the year, if you all get this done, you can send us some pictures and we can see. And behind here is your advanced class. Tell us about what you're doing right here. First of all, what kind of car is this?
This is a 2000 Honda Insight. They only made about 14,000 of these. The whole entire chassis is aluminum along with the body panels. And this is still to date, the highest miles per gallon production vehicle ever sold in America.
This was a hybrid.
Yeah, it's a hybrid, and it makes 70 miles a gallon from the factory. And it's amazing because it's so stinking light. And it also came with a manual transmission. But I race with the SCCA, Sports Car Club of America, in Rallycross, which is on the dirt. And so a little 3-cylinder hybrid's not going to go very fast. So we wanted the super light chassis. Our last car weighed in about 2,350 when it was all the way done. This one starts at 1,800 pounds.
And one of the things you said you do on this, because if you look at this, it looks like it has carbon fiber,
Well,
but this
yeah.
is just the decal.
Yeah, vinyl that was on
And
top
you
of it.
guys actually will work with someone on some carbon fiber.
Yeah, we're
So-
hoping to bring in Salt Lake Community College. They have a composites program, and so we're hoping that they will help us develop some composite panels. Because like the bumpers made out of rubber, and so are the front fenders. There are some rubber plastic components that add weight. And then there are other things we can develop, like the aluminum hood is nice and light, but if we make a one piece, you can save hundreds of pounds on the car.
And all of that affects the racing. It affects being able to win. And y'all had another car that was like the fastest around.
Yeah, we built my earlier classes, and they've helped support the actual vehicle, but we built a 91 Isuzu Impulse RS, and it's an all-wheel drive car, but it had a little 1.6 turbo, and the students helped wedge a 4.9 Cadillac V8, an aluminum block engine, lots of torque, and we stripped the car down and developed it, and it is currently the fastest car in the Rallycross program in the SCCA.
And the only reason we're not showing it is because unfortunately it got damaged or something broke,
Yeah.
and it's up in Washington State.
We were at an event in Washington, and the transfer case exploded. It's not designed. The transmission was not designed for the torque that we're putting through it, and so we've been having a lot of problems. That's why we're starting to develop version 2, and that's what we've brought this in for, is for a whole new team of kids to take that concept, and we're going to take it into a lighter, better platform to start with, and that's the future of this, hopefully.
And that's so interesting because I was explaining to the students that this isn't something normal in just a regular automotive class that you go to, that you get to do this, be involved in this type of works. And y'all can do just a ton, and we want people to see, it comes in and it's got the broken windshield, it's got this thing just hanging off, but actually behind the students right here is a whole choice. You guys kind of show off the engines right here, and these are some of the options that you were looking at. Good job. Vanna, can you go to the back one back there? What is that, a Cadillac?
There's a Cadillac.
There we go.
Yeah, there's a Cadillac V8 back here, kind of like the one we had in the Isuzu.
And you like that motor.
I like it, but it's kind of old. It's a push rod motor.
But it's the lightweight.
It is very light for its design, puts out a lot of torque, but it's really limited on revs. And then we got this Nissan QR25 DE, comes out of a Sentra, but it might not be putting out the power. These are the two GRFEs that come out of Camrys or in the Lotus Exige. They're really, really powerful. The bad part is they're kind of beefy for what we're looking at. The thing is, they're bulletproof up to 500 horsepower, and so Toyota donated 2 of these engines, but we're not sure if they'll find their way inside this just because they are overly heavy initially, but they would definitely do the job, just they're kind of chunky for the plan.
And the big deal is for folks to understand is to taking those engines and putting them underneath this hood and then still having room for the transmission and beefing everything else up.
Yeah, the last time the kids figured out we couldn't actually fit, we tried to chop up the Isuzu to fit in the engine, but the kids finally gave up on it, and we actually cut the whole front end off the car. And we have kids that actually go into the welding program, and we're able to develop a whole slide-on front end, and very ingenuitive things the kids came up with on those things. And so we're not sure what this will actually take for us to make it happen, and they haven't really started the drawing board yet. We're in our 3rd week of school. We're still getting through preliminary stuff. And so when we get back, we have a big field trip next week, but when we get back from that, we're probably going to be starting on some of the drawing board of this to get it started and rolling.
And when you talk about a field trip, you're talking about taking 60 students out to the racetrack.
Yeah, these kids, along with a bunch of Auto 2 level, the 2nd level of kids, are going out to the Formula Drift event. Formula Drift Series is extremely what these kids are way into and interested in. It's an amazing performance sport. It's not exactly a time trial, but you have over 1,000 horsepower, nitrous-fed, turbocharged, supercharged cars right next to each other, 100-mile-an-hour entries here in Utah at this event, and the kids get to sit there and watch. And you also get to walk through the pits and see the cars, and the teams will show them everything. And it's a wonderful event to go out to, and they actually are supporting us by providing all the tickets for our school to be able to go to that event.
You said they supplied 60 tickets.
Yeah, 60 tickets for us to make it.
Pretty awesome.
Did we ever have anything like that?
No.
Nobody took us to the racetrack.
No,
Well-
we got to go out to the field and plow. That's all we got to do.
Another beautiful thing about Utah, unfortunately, it got canceled this year, but we also take
Speed
take all the students out to Speed Week every year. But the weather this year, the rain has
Yeah.
actually compromised the salt. But we normally go out to Speed Week and watch land speed because that is a deep heritage part of Utah.
We heard that looked like a piece of glass out there with the water.
Yeah, we
across
did.
the top.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful out there.
So one of the other things is you look at your shirt and your Master Tech and everything,
Yep.
but y'all designed, because this is East High School, your hat, that's your logo, the
Yeah.
Torque E with the circle. Explain some of that.
Well, our school's been around for over 100 years, and our logo has always had a block E in it, so that we are this real deep heritage school, and the block E is just a part of our system. And so when we put a logo competition for the students to make a logo last year, they came up with Torque with an E on the end and put a gear around it, but it kept the block E, so we had the tie-in, but then Torque, and Torque is what moves the world, basically. So we started that last year, but it's kind of been our first year of rolling out the full program. And these kids we're going to be having jackets and everything, and we're going to be looking sharp in about a month with all of our jackets, nice weather, walking around and
Everybody
having
gets
that.
sized up and everything.
That will happen, yeah.
And we were so glad to see a young lady involved in the class, and she was explaining to us that she works with her dad working on cars and stuff, and she came in. And let me tell you, it's just wonderful for women in automotive to be able to come in, and there's so much opportunities for the ladies out there, that's involved, because there's women in auto care. Thing is, you were talking about, when we come here and visit, we always look to see what kind of industry support. And you mentioned that the local Toyota dealer, because that's Toyota, and they just dropped off another Toyota engine back there. And so we're going to shift around this way, because that last bill was the students leaving.
Yep.
So we appreciate you guys. Glad to meet you. And we're going to continue talking some more about Hunter Engineering.
Thanks for being here.
And it's so nice to see so many schools have the
Hunter equipment.
Hunter
That's
equipment.
cool. Go ahead, you're fine.
And that's our buddy Jay Allen.
Yeah.
We always kid with Jay Allen Hunter, but Hunter Equipment Engineering. But that's so wonderful. But tell us a little bit more about the Toyota dealer here that helps y'all out.
Yeah, Mark Miller Toyota here in Salt Lake City. It's one of the biggest dealerships in the state, and the actual service manager is alumni from our school, and all of his students went through the program with me as their teacher. And so they have become, he also supports the other high schools. And we actually probably have over a dozen students employed there, and they come in all the time, do presentations, they bring engines. I mean, they've probably donated over $60,000 worth of equipment and engines to us, which it was great. But
That's huge.
And they come in and they kind of help students understand. What's nice is that he knows the real dynamic of our district, because we have students who live in great luxurious situations because they're doing really well to do, but we also have kids to the point that are homeless and not doing so well in that market, and that's all the kids in our schools, that whole range. And since he's local here and he comes from this area, he gets that. And so it's really cool when he talks to my students. It's not this weirdly disconnected. He's right involved, right in the heat of everything. But they have come out of the blue and just showed up with random things. We got a new 4.6 liter this year, and we don't even know what we're doing with it. So it's just like, cool. And the kids have to figure it out. Be like, what do you want to do? And we've also had other support from other dealerships, but Toyota's definitely our number one that has been right here for us, and we have that great connection. So.
See, that's what we're trying to share with the tools, technology, and training, that they need industry support. They need help from the local communities. This is a great guy. And you the testimony from a Toyota dealer.
Seen that development Toyota came up with where
Yeah.
they run dual injectors?
Yes, because we're talking about right here a hybrid vehicle, and that's kind of what they're starting to do with the GDI, is because they're figuring out, okay, that works great going down the highway, but for running around, and so now they're doing the dual injection where it'll use regular injection to clean them, hang around town. When the moms, and you talk about this area being a little bit more affluent, you know they're sitting over there at the elementaries waiting on the student. The car's just idling.
Yeah.
And so in those cases, it's like, yeah, let's use regular injection, and we'll get those tops of the valves cleaned off. And then when we're going down the highway here, down the toll road that we came in on, it's like, okay, let's kick in the GDI. We'll get a little bit better mileage.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've seen all that, but that's
Kind of
all.
the best of both worlds, huh?
Yeah. Kind of part of the technology that we like to try to train, show, and with the tools, technology, and training.
Well, and the cool part for me is as a racer and a tuner, now we got double the injectors, and we actually have a lot more fuel control with those systems. So on my side of the house, I'm like, that's cool. Because on the old ones, they actually would drill in and put old injectors also to be able to, for supercharged or turbo applications. So for us tuners, we're like, it's already plumbed for it. We don't have to do much. So there's really cool advantages we're seeing on the racing side of the house too.
And that's so neat for us to come and visit a school where it's got an instructor like this that can share all that information.
Yeah.
Well, that's what's going on with us on our road trip, and I'm not sure if we have one more school to go by today, but as always, we appreciate you watching.
Bless you.